Ever felt confused about which Twix to choose? Left or right? Today we're solving this chocolatey dilemma once and for all with an exclusive tour of the Twix factory. Get ready to discover the sweet truth behind the bars. Our tour guide, an enthusiastic candy aficionado named Chuck, greets us at the factory entrance. Chuck's mission? To uncover the supposed differences between left and right Twix. He explains the basic structure of a Twix bar, a cookie base topped with caramel and coated in milk chocolate. Chuck mentions that Twix was originally called Raider in Europe before its 1991 rebranding. Welcome to Explain Universe. Today we're uncovering how your favorite chocolate treat, Twix, is made. From caramel to crunch, we're taking you behind the scenes. Don't forget to subscribe for more delicious insights. As we enter the factory, Chuck recounts the fictional tale of Seamus and Earl, two brothers who allegedly created Left and Right Twix after a disagreement. This story exemplifies how marketing narratives are constructed to create product differentiation. Chuck leads us to the first production stage, hinting at potential variations between Left and Right Twix manufacturing processes. Chuck leads us to the heart of Twix production, the cookie making process. Here, over 50 tons of dough are transformed into the foundation of every Twix bar. But as we observe the seemingly uniform process, a question arises. How can Left and Right Twix be different if they start from the same dough? Our guide enthusiastically points to two identical conveyor belts, insisting one produces crisp cookies for Left Twix and the other crunchy cookies for Right Twix. The marketing claims echo in our minds as Chuck attempts to explain the distinction. However, his struggle to demonstrate any real difference becomes apparent as we watch the cookies emerge from the ovens, looking remarkably similar. Intrigued by this apparent contradiction, we decide to investigate further. Chuck reluctantly agrees to let us conduct a blind taste test with a group of factory workers. The results are surprising. Out of 20 participants, only 3 could consistently tell the difference between Left and Right Twix cookies. This informal experiment aligns with more rigorous scientific testing, including sensory discrimination tests, which suggest there is no significant difference between Left and Right Twix cookies. So, if the cookies are essentially identical, why does the marketing insist on a difference? The answer lies in a psychological phenomenon known as choice supportive bias. This concept explains how marketing influences consumer perceptions, leading people to ascribe positive attributes to the product they choose, even when differences are negligible. Chuck, now visibly uncomfortable, admits that the whole Left Twix versus Right Twix rivalry isn't just tongue-in-cheek, but rather a clever marketing strategy. It creates perceived differences where none exist, encouraging consumers to pick sides and engage with the brand on a more personal level. This revelation sheds light on the power of marketing in shaping our perceptions. The Twix campaign has successfully created a playful rivalry that resonates particularly with younger generations like millennials and Gen Z. By offering a choice between two seemingly distinct options, Twix has tapped into our desire for individuality and preference, even in something as simple as a candy bar. As we move on to the next stage of production, we can't help but wonder, if the cookies are the same, what about the caramel and chocolate? Chuck gives us a mischievous grin, suggesting there might be more surprises in store. As we leave the cookie making area, Chuck's mischievous grin hints at another layer of the Twix mystery. We approach two identical looking caramel stations, yet our guide insists one produced chewy caramel for Left Twix, while the other creates smooth caramel for Right Twix. This claim aligns with the marketing narrative we've heard, but skepticism lingers in the air. Chuck explains the caramel making process, pointing out subtle differences in the way the mixture is stirred and cooled. However, a closer look reveals that both stations use the same basic ingredients and follow nearly identical procedures. The marketing claims echo in our minds. Left Twix features chewy caramel on crisp cookie, while Right Twix boasts smooth caramel on crunchy cookie. To investigate these claims, we conduct a blind taste test with 11 factory workers. Participants are asked to identify which Twix bar they're eating and describe the caramel's texture. The results are revealing. Only 4 out of 11 participants could consistently differentiate between Left and Right Twix. Moreover, descriptions of the caramel's texture varied widely, with no clear consensus on which bar had chewy or smooth caramel. These findings align with our earlier cookie experiment, suggesting that perceived differences between Left and Right Twix are more likely due to marketing influence than actual product variation. The power of suggestion in shaping consumer perceptions becomes increasingly apparent. Chuck, visibly uncomfortable with our findings, admits that the Left versus Right Twix rivalry is primarily a marketing strategy. This playful competition resonates particularly well with younger generations like millennials and Gen Z, who appreciate engaging and humorous advertising. The campaign's success lies in its ability to create perceived value and differentiation even when the products are identical. By offering a choice between two seemingly distinct options, Twix taps into consumers' desire for individuality and preference. This strategy encourages brand engagement and discussion, turning a simple candy bar into a topic of debate. In a moment of candor, Chuck reveals a humorous aspect of the marketing campaign. Left Twix supposedly explodes caramel on cookie, while Right Twix cascades caramel. This absurd distinction further highlights the campaign's tongue-in-cheek nature and the identical nature of the products. As we move towards the chocolate coating section, we can't help but wonder, if the cookies and caramel are essentially the same, what about the final layer? Chuck's expression suggests there might be more surprises in store. Chuck's coy smile fades as we enter the chocolate coating section. Could the final step in Twix production reveal the elusive difference between Left and Right bars? A series of tests on over 200 Twix bars might finally settle this sweet debate. The chocolate coating process appears identical for both Left and Right Twix. Rows of cookie and caramel bars glide beneath cascading curtains of molten milk chocolate. Chuck, now visibly uncomfortable, half-heartedly points out supposed differences in coating techniques. His attempts to distinguish between the two production lines grow increasingly strained as we observe the remarkably uniform process. To investigate any potential variations, we conducted weight tests on 208 Twix bars. The results were revealing. Left Twix averaged slightly heavier than Right Twix, but the difference was negligible. Both types hovered around 25 grams, with variations likely attributable to normal manufacturing tolerances rather than intentional distinctions. Our investigation didn't stop at weight. A crunchiness test indicated that Left Twix bars were slightly louder than Right Twix when bitten, with an average difference of 1.4 decibels. However, this minor auditory variation is more likely due to packaging or storage conditions rather than inherent differences in the product itself. Chuck, now cornered by the mounting evidence, reluctantly admits that the Left versus Right Twix campaign is primarily a marketing strategy. The differences presented in advertising are more about engaging consumers than reflecting factual distinctions in production. This clever approach has successfully created a playful rivalry that resonates particularly well with younger generations like millennials and Gen Z. The power of this marketing strategy lies in its ability to create perceived value and differentiation, even when the products are virtually identical. By offering a choice between two seemingly distinct options, Twix has tapped into consumers' desire for individuality and preference. This approach encourages brand engagement and discussion, turning a simple candy bar into a topic of debate. Interestingly, the placement of Twix bars on store shelves may contribute to some of the minor differences we observed. Chuck explains, when on store shelves, one Twix is always sitting on top of another. This arrangement could potentially expose the top bar to more air and light, affecting its texture and crunchiness over time. As our tour concludes, it becomes clear that the entire Left versus Right Twix campaign is a masterclass in modern marketing. By creating an amusing narrative around non-existent differences, Twix has managed to captivate consumers and generate buzz around its product. The campaign's success demonstrates the power of storytelling and consumer engagement in the competitive world of confectionery. Our investigation into the Twix production process reveals a surprising truth. Left and Right Twix are essentially identical products. Despite marketing claims of distinct differences, our tests and observations show negligible variations in cookie texture, caramel consistency, and chocolate coating. This case study demonstrates the power of marketing in shaping consumer perceptions and preferences. The Left versus Right Twix campaign exemplifies how clever marketing strategies can create perceived value and differentiation where none truly exists. By offering a choice between seemingly distinct options, Twix has tapped into consumers' desire for individuality and preference, turning a simple candy bar into a topic of debate. This approach has proven particularly effective with younger generations who appreciate engaging and humorous advertising. The success of this marketing strategy raises thought-provoking questions about the nature of consumer choice and the influence of advertising in the food industry. Thanks for watching Explained Universe. If you want to know more about the secrets behind your favorite snacks such as Twix, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. Until next time.